Do you spiral every time your twin flame ghosts you? Are you constantly checking your phone to see if they text or constantly checking their social media? Are you triggered by separation? If you're still going through emotions and trigger, if you're still seeking outside yourself for that validation, it's showing you what you still need to heal. But if you avoid that healing, the cycle will continue to repeat. My name is Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialize in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. The main objective of the twin flame journey is to come to love yourself, to not seek outside yourself for validation, to heal the codependency wound. This is our biggest wound. We fear rejection, we fear abandonment, and this all stems from our childhood and our teenage years and from past relationships. But if we continue to avoid our healing, the cycle is going to continue to repeat. And, I've done this. Throughout my twin flame journey, I've been, since I met my twin in the 3D, anytime he ghosted me, it fucked me up, especially if we were intimate and he'd go straight afterwards. It really fucked up my unworthiness wound, big time. You know what I mean? And it took me a long time to heal that. Every single time, and it's really difficult. And you don't have to even be intimate with your twin. Even if anytime they ghost you, it triggers your abandonment wound, it triggers your rejection wound, it makes you spiral into all the things that you've been through in the past. But these triggers are your guides, and I'm blue in the face telling people your triggers are your guides. They really are. We have to start being grateful for every bout of separation. Separation is there to prepare you. It really is. And we have to start using it wisely. I used to do this all the time. We'd go into the separation phase and I'd be on a high for a few minutes and then I'd be like, oh my God, he's not texting, oh my God. And then I'd spiral and I'd go down. Because, initially when you do have contact with your twin, you're like, yay, big time, we're in fucking union. And then you crash. You crash really fucking hard. And all your insecurities come back up. What did I do wrong? Why aren't they choosing me? Have they found someone else? And then you're checking their social media and they're online and you're like, oh my God, why didn't they reply? Oh my God, they saw my message. But, this is all the stuff that has been going through my head. Thankfully not lately. I've healed it, thank fuck. But, it still happens from time to time. But, I really, really was going through a spiral. From October last year onwards, anytime we were intimate, my twin would ghost me. And it really fucked me up. Especially, it's really hard for all of the stuff that I was going through. And it took me a long time to get my power back. I ended up having to ghost my twin for about 2 months because I needed to take my power back. But it just kept triggering my unworthiness wound until I changed the fucking script. You flip the fucking script. That's it. You have to change it. We're in this inner child. We're living our lives from a wounded inner child energy. So we're literally walking around like fucking children with this inner teen wound and the inner child wound. And every time our twin flame ghosts us, we go into a fucking tantrum. And that's effectively it. And the amount of times I've shouted at my twin flame on the 5D, and I still do that. Okay, I'm still a little bit triggered. I'm not completely healed yet, and I know this. The reason, every time there's separation, I know, I'm not just saying, hey, my twin flame is an asshole and he needs to heal his shit. I'm saying, what the fuck do I need to heal? If he's running, that means I'm running as well. What am I running from? And this is so important, but I do the work. You do the work. That's what it is. You take the time to do the work. But if you keep going around in circles, if you avoid the inner work, then literally, if this happens, right? And this has happened for me as well. You don't get contact. They ghost you after you're into it, whatever it is. They ghost you for ages. You do a little bit of healing, and then the universe lets them back in. You see, the thing is as well, the universe orchestrates this. Oh, you know what I mean? The universe prevents them from reaching out. Why is it? Because they're obviously spiraling as well. They're obviously in overwhelm as well. But yet we have no compassion for that because we're already in this triggered energy. We have to remember this, we're healing wounds, not just from childhood and past relationships, but also from past lives. But as women, as the divine feminine, we're able to handle these things more. But the men are also healing the patriarchy wound. They're healing the wound around not being able to show emotions. And then they're feeling all this intensity with us. So they're fucked in there. They don't know what to do. And they feel vulnerable as fuck. And they're afraid to be vulnerable. They've been told you're not allowed to be vulnerable, it's weak. So they don't want to seem weak in front of us, even though we want them to be vulnerable and we think we know there's strength in vulnerability. They're healing a massive wound around being vulnerable. So we have to have compassion for that as well. They're not ghosting us because they don't like us. They're not ghosting us because they're not choosing us. They're ghosting us because they're in overwhelm. And, you know, if we're triggered, we have stuff to heal as well. And this is the simple thing. Do you know what I mean? And we have to remember that, as I said, this is orchestrated. And not only is it orchestrated by the universe, it's orchestrated by you and your twin flame. Prior to fucking reincarnation, you literally said to each other, we have to do this. We have to go into separation. We have to have time apart. We have to have space so that we can heal our wounds. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard for, I've seen this with say unawakened twin flames who get together before they even understand the spiritual journey. Then they have to navigate all these triggers within the relationship. That is hard. That's one of the hardest things I've ever seen within a twin flame connection, is that it's so hard to actually be faced with your rawest of wounds with them in front of you, and they can't fix you. We have to remember this. We can't fix them and they can't fix us. So therefore, like, you know, we actually do need that separate time. We need that time to heal. We need that time to go within. So do they. They're, as I said, they're not doing this to hurt us. They're doing this so that they don't hurt us. They're trying to protect us from their own wounding. And we should be protecting them from ours as well. Because, like, you know, if I was actually, if I expressed my anger towards my twin flame on the 3D, things wouldn't be as harmonious as they are. We have a really good connection, and we have really good, energy. So there's no volatility, there's no anger, there's no aggression towards each other when we're actually in contact, which I think is beautiful, because all of that energy is released separately, which is lovely, because I hate violence, I hate aggression, I hate any of that. And, you know, I'm not violent anymore, thankfully, but like, I'm not as angry as I used to be. But I'd rather shout at my twin on the 5D than actually shout at him in the 3D. I just don't like confrontation and anger anymore. I don't like fighting. Do you know what I mean? So I'm so glad that we do not have that kind of connection, you know, in the 3D. And I'm glad that I keep my triggers, and I heal my triggers and my anger and my upset separately. I'm glad I have that time to do that myself. You know what I mean? Because it would only drive them further away if we were actually aggressive towards them. But we have to, like, you know, and we keep going around in these circles. It's just about to say this, like, you know, we're getting the contact and we're like, ooh, then we don't get contact and we're really aggressive, we're angry, we're like, you know, oh, I'm fucking done, they're not even my twin flame. I'm sorry, I've done that so many times over the last year, and I really had to question my connection with them. And, like, you know, it's only when I took my power back, when I felt empowered in myself, when I broke the cycle, when I healed my fucking shit, that I actually could trust fully in our 5D connection. You're never truly separate from your twin flame. Your souls are always together. And we have to learn this. We have to learn interdependency rather than codependency. This is another thing. Like, you know, I'm all for morning texting. I'm all for texting somebody all day, your twin flame all day. But, like, that's not fucking... We're not teenagers anymore. We don't have time for that shit. So you have to get good at no communication. Because you're always in communication in the 5D. Always. And you have to remember, this is not a fucking 3D connection. So when we keep comparing it to our past relationships, that doesn't work. But what we are doing here is healing from our past relationships. We have to understand that our twin flame is not like our exes. We have to trust in the promise between our souls. This is the most important thing. You and your twin flame's soul promised each other that you would do absolutely anything and everything to come into union again, which means separation, which means ghosting, which means triggers, which means healing. You know what I mean? So we're healing that codependency wound, that inner teen wound. You know what I mean? And this is it. And I said this at the start of this year. Jesus, nearly a year ago now. Do you know, at the start of this year, we're literally in teenage mode. We ask ourselves why our twin flame isn't stepping up. Why isn't he in his divine masculine energy? Because we're not in our divine feminine energy. If we're acting like a fucking teenager, then so are they. Unless we actually empower ourselves, how the fuck are they? Like, we need to fucking grow a pair of balls first, and then they will actually have a pair. Do you know what I'm saying? This is how important this is. We have to release that codependency wound. We have to stop seeking outside ourselves for validation. This is the thing. We have to love ourselves fully, heal ourselves enough that we do not seek outside ourselves for validation. That if we do not get a text message, like, you know, this took me a while. It's actually the end of the summer this year that I really took my power back. That I was able to stand in my sovereignty and not be affected by how he ghosts me. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I still go through some triggers. I still go through that bit of 5D anger and I shout at him on the 5D. I still go through that. But the majority of the time now, I am at peace. I'm at complete peace because I know he loves me. And I know that we're going to be together. I know that union is inevitable. And I know that every time we're in separation, it means we both have something to heal. So I have surrendered. And you know what? The triggers are there for a reason. The triggers are there to show me what I need to heal. But I've let go of the need for him to reply. Do you know what I mean? I can send a text message now and I can sit back and I just don't care. Actually, I sometimes even forget because I'm not constantly looking at my phone. And this took me a while because I was constantly searching online was he online? Do you know, I was constantly checking up on him, and which was triggering me even more. And I had to stop doing that. If it's upsetting me, I had to walk away from it. And like what I mean is like I had to take my power back. So in my empowered energy, I'm not constantly checking my phone. You know, in my empowered energy, I'm not seeking outside of myself. And don't get me wrong, I was a little bit. I had to take a complete detox off the social media this weekend. It wasn't. I stopped stalking his page, but I was constantly picking up my phone. And I know when I constantly picking up my phone, it's that underlying energy of, is he going to reply or is he going to text me? Do you know what I mean? So I literally had to get rid of my phone this weekend and just go, no. I feel so much better for it. We have to release that attachment. We have to release that need. And we have to heal our shit. You know, and you're like, you know, this is the thing then, like, you know, we will go through this round of healing. We start to feel a little bit better. Then they reply. And it's just like, oh, everything's going to be okay again. And then what do? We go into another round of avoiding our fucking healing. That's what we do. It's like every bit of external communication brings us back into teenage energy and brings us back into avoidance. And then we avoid our healing cycle and then we're back in the same fucking repeated energy and then they ghost us again. And then we wonder why. It's because we have more to fucking heal. This is so important. You know what I mean? We have to stop getting angry towards them. You know, we have to show them some compassion. They're going through overwhelm as well. You know, I know for the last time I saw my twin was a couple of weeks ago. And the energy between us was really intense, really intense. And, you know, I'm ready for that. I knew it was there. And for the first time, my walls came down and I felt actually ready to feel that. But it would have freaked him out. And it did freak him out because I haven't heard from him. And that's the thing. You know, I might be feeling ready, but he's not there yet. And I have to have compassion for that because this isn't a high intensity connection. And if the feelings I felt were overwhelming, but I was ready. I'm in an energy now where the love is stronger than the fear. But I still know that I have stuff to work on because I still had a little bit of triggers. And every time I'm triggered, I'm grateful now because it's helping me to heal what's next. So be grateful for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, stop avoiding your growth. Stop avoiding your healing. Stop getting angry and start listening to what you need to heal. Why are you getting upset? Which wound is being triggered? What parts of you do you need to heal? Because you're going to go into this tantrum energy, you're going to go into this anger energy, and then what happens? Then they text you and you forget about all your healing again. And you go back into this little bubble state of, oh, I'm a little teenager. And then you literally go through the same cycle again until they ghost you again. And until you're triggered again. And until then you avoid again. And then you go through the same cycle. But this is it. Like, you have to ask yourself, is every time you connect better than the last? It does mean you're doing the work. It does mean you're doing the healing. But you have to remember, we're healing a codependency wound here. We're really a big unworthiness wound. You know what I mean? And this is one of the big, we need to get into our empowered energy, our big ball energy. This is so fucking important here. We need to empower ourselves so they feel empowered. We need to be their safe space so that they can be our safe space. This is so important. Stop avoiding your growth. Stop. Are you busying yourself too much? Are you overworking? Are you taking substances? Are you literally doing everything to distract yourself so that you don't sit with your pain? You have to sit with your pain so you can release it. And you continue to avoid stuff, you're going to continue to go around in circles. And this is what I did for a very long time. I kept allowing the same cycle to repeat, and it kept depleting me. Yes, every time we contacted, it was a little bit better, but every time he ghosted, I went down, down, down again. So it went, like, you know, it was like one step forward and a million steps fucking back. That's the kind of energy it was in. Until I changed the cycle, I changed my reaction, I changed my response, I changed how I felt because I healed my wounds. And this is what we have to do. Your unworthiness wound is there for a reason. It's there for you to heal it and release it. And your triggers are there for a reason. Every time you're in separation, this is giving you a chance to move closer to union. But when you go into the teenage energy or the inner child tantrum energy, you're literally delaying the next round of healing. So, like, and that's what I used to do. I'd be in this high energy going, woo, yay, it's union time. And then it was just, you know, slowly go down, down, down. And you're like, oh, I'm triggered again. Oh, now I realize why we're in separation. Duh. Do you know what I mean? So literally, you have to just get grateful. And, you know, the more you go within, the more you do the inner work and the more you don't avoid your healing, that's then you'll get the energy of union back. But you have to remember this. We're breaking a codependency wound. So this relationship is not going to look like the neediness that you had in an old relationship. You have to release that neediness. You have to release that. You know, you have to know that if your twin doesn't text you all day, it doesn't mean that they hate you. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It just means that they're going through healing or they're fucking busy. They're healing or they're busy. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's that simple. You have to trust that the love between you is real. And that anything external is not a reflection of that. We have to know that if somebody, like not even your twin, if someone doesn't reply to your text message, it's nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. They're the ones that are triggered. They're the ones that are healing. They're the ones that need space. We have to respect that. And if you're constantly wondering why someone hasn't replied to you, then that is your shit to heal. Because usually, or most of the time, or all of the time, a person's behavior is a reflection of them and not you. We all need space. We all need healing. We all need time for growth. And you also do. You need to give yourself that time and space. And you need to be in silence. Be in silence. Be in silence so that you can hear yourself think. So that you can hear yourself understand where the wounding is coming from. You can't keep avoiding this. The codependency wound is the biggest wound that we have to heal. The unworthiness wound, it's all connected. It's all interconnected. Every time you're in separation, use it fucking wisely and be grateful for these times of pause because it is bringing you closer to union once you do the work. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you would like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and nothing more than to help you in your path. Also, I'm hosting a free feminine empowerment workshop on December the 10th at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time. It's for all of us ladies just to get together and support each other. If you want information for that, please comment below. And also, I have another channel called Aligning with Angie where I share a guided meditation every week. If you want information for that, it's in the description box.